am seeking reelection, but I am only in a 1 year term. I took the seat after Commissioner Joe Adams had moved on to the state representation for the House. And so I've been here since January. Um, I've gotten ingrained in here in the last 10 months. I had to make a decision in February whether or not I was going to run for election. And I decided to do that because I'm getting such knowledge here of the county operations. I'm very ingrained with it. I think what the county does here, and in all honesty, most of the taxpayers in Wayne County, I don't think even know the services that is offered here at the county level. And it was an eye opener for me. So once I got here and I started learning the process, I think it would be a waste of time to spend a year here and not try to help the community benefit from what I'm learning and the knowledge I'm getting for being a county commissioner. So I'm looking forward to running for a term and to put that knowledge to good use.
I hear some concerns about the sudden increase in taxes. How do you plan to address the concerns of homeowners, renters, and business owners who have experienced this sudden increase in taxes during the period we have of high inflation?
It's definitely a concern. And I've heard a lot of constituents in the area say that the timing of the taxes and the assessment was poor planning or it was done intentionally. And that's certainly not the case. And that's what I've learned since I've been here is that the process started back in 2017. That's when county was actually interviewing to hire an outside agency to do the tax reassessment. And the process didn't actually take place until 2020. So the process had been in the works for probably 3 or 4 years. Now, the timing with the COVID and the pandemic had really inflated the fact that the prices had gone up. Um, I own 7 properties in Wayne County. 4 of them are commercial, 3 of them are residential. I've seen out of those 7 properties, only 2 of them had really spiked. The rest of them were in line with where they should be. And I do believe after being here, sitting through the tax appeals, seeing the millage come down, seeing the real values put on the homes since the last assessment in 2004, that these assessments are in line. And if they're not in line and the residents that have feel as though their values have gone up can always appeal their values back up to the Board of Commissioners and to verify whether or not they are accurate. Um, I do know I do live in the lake area of Lake Wallenpaupack and Hawley. I've got property near that area within a few miles of it. I've had friends who have homes on Lake Wallenpaupack who had seen their assessments go up considerably, and that's where a lot of the values had come is in that resort area. But I know for a fact that my father-in-law had a house on Lake Wallenpaupack that was assessed at under $600,000. And he sold that in 2019. I think it was. Yeah, it was 2019 for 1.1 million. The assessed value on that home now is, I think, 1.2 million. And the current owner has put about $500,000 worth of renovations into it. I do believe that the assessment was necessary. I do also am concerned about long-term residents who have property here and do live in the resort area, seeing their values go up significantly. That is a concern. I don't know how to address that, but it is always a concern when you have residents on fixed income and they're living in a resort area and they're seeing their values get so far out of line that they may not be able to maintain those homes anymore. So that's a concern. And I really would like to see if there's an avenue of trying to adjust that somehow.
PA has lost 32% of the workforce to addiction and mental health crisis. Given the significant workforce losses to addiction and mental health issues in PA, how do you plan to ensure that affordable treatment and mental health services become more accessible in Wayne County? And what outcomes do you hope to achieve with the Recovery to Work project?
I do believe that the services are available here in Wayne County. I see it being used every day. I think they are affordable. I've also seen residents use the programs here with drug and alcohol, behavioral health. And I don't see where that's a burden. The burden would be, of course, on the taxpayers as we try to maybe enhance these programs. But that would mean, of course, that would be staffing. That would be the biggest concern because we've been working on the Recovery to Work program, trying to find locations to provide, to expand these services. And one of the probably most delusional fact of these services are that these are mandated by the state. These are not services that the county is just trying to implement on its own because we see a need in the community. Yes, there is a need in the community, but these are also mandated by the state. We have to offer every one of these services, whether it's behavioral health, drug and alcohol, children and youth, early intervention, aging, veterans affairs, transportation. These are all state mandated programs through the human services. And that's where a lot of the funding comes from. But the taxpayers are on the hook for a certain percentage of it. Back to the main meat of the question is these services are limited here. I've seen residents who are getting help on behavioral health and mental health issues having to travel to Pittsburgh, Sayre, Reading, York, Philadelphia to get treatment. And there's nothing more harder on a family or somebody struggling with mental health issues when they don't have loved ones nearby to support them. And when they get into an environment where they're around strangers and they may have a phone conversation once a week with family members, that's not enough. I'm emotionally tied to this. I've seen families struggle with visiting children or even adults that are going through mental health crisis where they can't be there with them when they're 4 or 5, 6 hours away from home. So we need to continue to work to find a program that locally that can support this and bring the community and family support into the process. And we do have a lot of grant money. I think, as you've probably already heard, that we're trying to expand these programs in Wayne County. I do not want to see it on the backs of the taxpayers, but these services definitely are needed in this community, as they are probably all around the state.
The pandemic has shown how important high speed internet and broadband is in the county. Can you speak on the strategy of expanding broadband access in areas of Wayne County that currently lack this crucial infrastructure? And how do you plan to utilize available federal funds to achieve this goal?
Okay, that's a good question. And right now, we're not working on the federal funds, the federal grant funds. That has not been released yet to the county to be part of the grant process. I think you're talking about the BEAD funding. But right now, we are working on state funding, which there's been hundreds of millions of dollars offered through the state to expand broadband throughout the counties. And Wayne County is positioned very well to take advantage of that. When I came on board in January, we were working real hard to spend about $3 million to hit the real isolated areas in Wayne County that have are underserved or not served at all. And we are just in the process of awarding some of this funding to local vendors to improve it when the state came out with their program that they were offering hundreds of millions of dollars to expand out throughout the state. We immediately jumped onto that. We were already positioned with Kelly Associates, who's been working as our broadband specialist. And we just met recently with our ISP providers to see what the programs are being, what grants have been put through the state. And we should hopefully know by the end of the year what's been awarded to Wayne County. But the answer to the question there, I do know that Adams Cable is looking to serve the Hideout area, and that's got 3,200 homes out there. They're already in the process. One day a week, they dedicate to bringing homes online in the Hideout with fiber to the homes to get broadband to it. So they've made an investment of $10 million in Wayne County. Along with that, there's another vendor called Archtop, which is they put in for two $10 million grants to expand in the upper part of Wayne County, the broadband area in that area. Also, Verizon has made a commitment of almost $30 million, $28.3 million to expand broadband throughout the whole county. And they are going to do 594 miles of fiber, and they're expecting to reach 2,495 homes that are not available with broadband at this point. All this is expected to take place within the next 2 years, and these grants should be awarded in January. So that should be a big game changer going into 2024.
In what ways will you engage with the community to ensure that the vision of Wayne County as a great place to work, raise children with a strong vocational education and well-paying trade jobs become a reality?
Well, I think there's been a hard push the last few years to get a CTC school here, a technical school. We have our state representatives working on that. We do need jobs across the county here in every field. And the plumbing, electrical, all these fields are extremely important. There is quite a focus here too at Wayne County to push ag agriculture further along. We are been working on an ag innovation center here for the last 3-4 years. We have a location in Wayne County where this project wants to get going. We're working on grant funding to get this up and running. There is quite a bit small family farms that are now doing stuff on a smaller scale, but they're finding it more profitable because they're doing it without the big expense of a lot of acreage and a lot of land and a lot of equipment. And it seems to be working. I think Wayne County is positioned real well to get into a specialty niche market in agriculture. There's a lot. My co-commissioners have said for years that creating our own food here in the United States is so critical to homeland security and to the survival of this nation. And I think Wayne County is positioned real well to continue to provide food locally here in Wayne County. It's important to engage with everybody in your community, whether you're expanding industry, whether it's agriculture, or whether it's just good jobs in continuing throughout the communities that we have. So I'm always open for conversations on expanding, whether it's recreational or industrial or production, anything that we can do here in Wayne County. And there's a expansion going on in our industrial park out in Sterling, which is going to be, I think, probably a 500 to 600 job improvement in Wayne County. So I think that's important. So I'm open to talk to anyone about improving jobs and infrastructure here in Wayne County.
And finally, James, why should folks vote for you? I know there's 4 people running, choose 3. So why should folks vote for you in this election season?
I'll be honest with you. I come from 24 years in the retail business. I spent 15 years in the recreational business. My roots are here in Wayne County. I was born in Honesdale. My family has all been raised here. I have other avenues. I've owned a supermarket for the last 24 years, still own that. I still have family working there. I still have revenue from that. So I'm not in this job because it's a job. I'm in this job because I feel as though I can offer services, ideas, common sense outlook on how the county should operate, how county government should work. And I don't take any of this job for granted. And I'm not here for the pay. I don't participate in the pension program here because I don't need a retirement plan from the county. I'm just here because I spent over 20 years working being a director at the Chamber of Commerce. And I've seen the need of having good common sense, morals and values to help your community grow. Now, that's what I think I bring to the table here. And that's why I'm willing to do a 4-year term to help provide some input and common sense to the community. I think I offer that real well. I think I've earned a lot of respect over the years by being open and honest with people. And I think it's an opportunity for me to continue to give, and it's at a bigger level in the county. And I like that opportunity to be able to continue to give more of myself to this community.
Or talking to James Shook, who's running on the Republican line for the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. Thank you so much for talking to us and letting us know your thoughts on the issues that are facing the Wayne County voters.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a good day.